awkward.
Come on.
Hey, hi. Hey, everybody.
Right. Hey, y'all. We are here live from Nashville, Tennessee to celebrate the 6th birthday of Lighthouse for Life.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's exciting.
We need to do a cake. Well,
Fail number 2.
We might have to go get cupcakes later.
Okay.
And then we'll blow out a candle. Anything for a cupcake. Anyway, before we begin, we want to show a special video from the sponsors of tonight's event.
All right, and then we'll get to it.
Yep.
So here we go.
Hey, I'm Brian Autry from the law firm of Kennison, Dudley & Crawford here in Columbia, South Carolina. We also have offices in Greenville, South Carolina. I just want to let you guys know that we are proud to support Lighthouse for Life. We believe in the sanctity of every human life, and we believe in the beauty of it. And we also believe that slavery and exploitation is pure evil. And so we've been proud to partner with Lighthouse for Life for the last several years, and we'll continue to do so. The work that they do is vital in the effort to stop sexual exploitation and sex trafficking in the United States and beyond. And we hope that you'll agree with us and support Lighthouse for Life too. Thanks.
Right on.
All right,
and now,
guys.
let's go over here to the basement sessions. Hey, Tiffany.
Hi, Lee. This is our basement. We started doing basement sessions when COVID hit. Really just out of just one night thinking, hey, why don't we get online and play a song? We're both, Lee's a professional touring musician. He plays keyboard for, many of you South Carolina people will know him, Darius Rucker. And I sing, and I've done it full-time and part-time, and so
she's amazing.
we do a lot of things. We do a lot of things, thank you. We do a lot of things together, and so we really enjoy making music together, and often don't just sit down here and do that.
No, except for last night. When we were playing, we were just shuffling through charts and playing random songs.
It entered really bad karaoke land quickly.
It was good.
It was good though.
And we're gonna spare you guys tonight.
Yes,
We've got some stuff worked up, so tonight's a special night.
Yeah, so we started doing basement sessions, and our friend Jen Thompson, who is the CEO of Lighthouse for Life, reached out and said, we have their 6th birthday coming up. We want to celebrate it in a special way. How about doing a virtual concert for us? And which we've never done.
We did a 10-year-old birthday party once.
We only sang one song.
Just one song.
So
we thought, why not? Let's do this.
Yeah, we're gonna
do such a great way for everybody get together, and also to maybe learn something new. I didn't particularly know about this organization too much about it, and we did a couple things a year. 2 years ago, something like that. We saw a documentary about this, on trafficking, and it just really opened my eyes. So you guys stick around, and you're going to hear some good stuff about it. And I don't know.
So we're going to do some songs for you tonight. We're going to start out with a song called My Hallelujah, and it's just a great anthem that no matter what we're going through, no matter what we're facing, really, if we know Him, if we know Jesus Christ, nothing can take away our hallelujah. Peace be still, calm this soul. I need you here now. Restore my hope. I confess I've been afraid. Remind my everything but the kitchen sink.
Sometimes the kitchen sink.
Mm-hmm.
What, this one?
You do. You kind of make ribbons on it.
I do.
And this is, we're going to do a mix of everything for you tonight. Some old, some new, some you've probably not heard. This is probably one you've heard, especially if you love a good old rock and roll song.
Yeah. We're not really going to rock and
No.
roll it. I can't talk and play.
Featuring Mr. Lee Turner
Ooh.
on vocals.
Now the pressure's on. She's a good girl, loves her mama, loves Jesus, in America too. She's a good girl, crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and her boyfriend too, yeah, yeah. That's my favorite part right there. It's a long day, living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard. 'Cause I'm a bad boy, 'cause I don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy for breaking her heart, and I'm free, free falling, and I'm free, free falling. Yeah.
Now the vampire walking through the valley, they move westbound, Ventura Boulevard. Now the bad boys standing in the shadows, and the good girls are home with broken hearts.
And I'm free, I'm free falling, and I'm free, I'm free falling.
I wanna glide down over Mulholland. I wanna rise his name in the sky. I wanna free fall out into nothing. Gonna leave this. There's a world far around, 'cause I'm free.
Free falling, and I'm free, I'm free falling, and I'm free, I'm free falling, and I'm free.
Y'all sing it. Free falling down, free falling down, free falling down, free falling down, free falling, yeah, free falling, free falling, free
It's like, where are we going? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
Oh man, I'm looking and seeing so many of you guys are in here. and we've got people from all over. We've got North Carolina, we've got Wisconsin,
Right on.
we've got some South Carolina, which I love. Awesome. This is up. We got some people from up north, from New Jersey. What I do love too is being a South Carolina girl, South Carolina native. During the sponsor video, when he said South Carolina, I was like, oh, that's the way we say it. And really no one else says it that way unless you're from there. So Jen, right? Jen Thompson.
Jen Thompson. When she was interviewing us, I don't know if you guys saw the video, we talked a little bit about how we met and just talking about South Carolina. When I first met I'm from Wisconsin, you know.
Yes.
We talk, we're very articulate.
Very.
And articulate.
Yes, you know what, you do enunciate, right? Yes.
And then I got her on the cell phone the first time I talked to her. I was like, oh no.
What did she say?
What?
Because everything just rolls together. And if you have a word with 2 syllables, it might have 3 or 4 by the time you're done.
Right.
Before we do this one, I want to just talk a little bit about Lighthouse for Life.
Please.
So they are based in Columbia, South Carolina, and their mission is simply raising awareness about the realities of human trafficking while restoring victims to wholeness. And I've traveled a lot internationally and are a little bit more aware of trafficking that happens internationally and have met mostly young women who have been victims of it and just have seen it firsthand. But a few years ago we did go to watch a documentary that showcased some of the realities of trafficking in the United States. And it's really alarming and scary to realize that in our country where we have so much protection of our rights, that this could happen to young women and men. And they, Lighthouse for Life is 6 years old, but they were founded by Andrea Wynn, and simply they were founded by her because she heard and she was given just the information of a story of a teenage girl who was trafficked while living at home. This was in the United States, and she was a student and was blackmailed by 2 older men because they had a video of her recreationally using drugs, and because of that she was coerced into that situation, and she was too ashamed and too scared to ask for help. And I read that story a couple days ago and I thought, what? But then we think about, as teenagers and young people, what it was like for us when we knew that we might do something that wouldn't please our parents or that could unfavorably affect us. And I think in those situations, it's easy to become victimized and scared. And just a simple, that simple narrative really birthed Lighthouse for Life. And they have, since they started 6 years ago, they've actually served 56 survivors. And that may sound like a small number to you, but to consider the situation of trafficking and sometimes the environments that young women and men can be in, to be able to recover them from that situation and start to restore them. 56 people, and even if it was just one life, it would be huge.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It's really neat. And, just talking about that, I have a girl that used to work with me, and she always said, always look for the one. And she was like, when I go on trips, when I'm serving people, I'm always looking for the one. Because you could serve or look at a population and think, I've got to do something about this. But when you look at it and you see hundreds or thousands or millions, it can be overwhelming. But if you look for the one and how you can change and serve the one person around you that needs you, it really brings things into perspective. So this song, it really does talk about the one. We all have someone in our life that we wish they would come back to a better life for themselves or out of a harmful situation. Or we often we see someone who is being victimized or who is in a situation where they're not at their best, and they're they're compromising or they've been put in a situation that endangers them. And I always think that's someone's daughter. That is someone's son. And when you look at somebody like that, they're no longer just an anonymous statistic. It's a life that does matter. And this song is called Somebody Someone. We really love it. It's very special to us. So, let's do it. I'm talking too much. Right?
Are you? No, right?
It's 6:27.
We're having a good time.
All right.
That song just, wow.
Just
the
kills,
first time
yeah.
I heard it, I was driving and I pulled over and I think I was did I call you?
Mm-hmm.
I was broke down from that.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Do you have more stuff to say about the old Lighthouse for life?
Ye old Lighthouse.
Ye old Lighthouse. We like to have some fun here.
So, yes, I have actually noticed we got some people donating, which is awesome, y'all. So I did want to mention that we do have a donate button. One thing that Jen stressed when she called us, she was like, I'm not...
donate music.
Oh, okay. She said, I'm not looking for like this to be an event where people are donating, but let's have that available, which is always a great thing to do, especially when you're supporting an organization that does work in the community. So we do have a donate button on here. And
donate! Why not? It's a birthday. And how much? Like $20, $100?
Yeah,
$500
really.
If you got it.
Anything you can donate.
$5.
One thing that this
I like that we're rocking back and forth. We're like on a cruise ship here.
One thing that they are really looking to do is open their safe home before the end of the year, and they really need to fill the staff position of a social worker, which is critical especially when you're working with schools and trying to assess services. So that is something that they're going to need in their safe house in the Columbia area. So that is something that they are really trying to seek funds for. So if you want to donate, and if you want to check them out, you can click, the link, and it'll take you to their Facebook page. But their web address is literally lighthouse4life.org, and check them out and see what they're doing. I also love this. They have had over 4,500 volunteer hours served. And just working at a nonprofit is not always the easiest thing to get volunteers to come out and help. That's a lot of hours. So congratulations to you guys for that. All right.
We'll keep this thing rocking.
Yeah, we're gonna do this one. We're simply gonna do this one because I know Jen shared this one on her page on Lighthouse's page when they were letting people know, hey, this is what they sound like.
Right. So we've been together how long now? We're coming up on 6 years.
We will have had our first date this August 6 years ago.
Right. Met at the airport at baggage claim. That's crazy, right?
A baggage claim.
So the first thing, and you might have heard this story if you saw the video, but the first thing, she's like, so what do you do? And I was like, well, I'm a musician. And she's like, I don't date musicians. And I was like, okay. So anyways, we fell in love and blah, 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 but we never played and sang together for the first year.
We were really nervous. It was really nerve-wracking.
She was like, play something on the piano, and I was literally dripping in sweat. So Jen, that video that you posted, that was probably one of our first.
That was one of the first. I was going somewhere, you were going somewhere. It was going to be a while before we saw each other.
Yeah.
And we had started playing around with this song, because I've always loved both of these songs, but I love Me Some Gladys Knight, and I don't really have any pips.
You have one pip.
I have one pip.
But he can't sing and play this.
So we kind of we made our little spin on this.
So we need you guys to sing.
Yeah, if you know the pip part.
Is this tempo good?
LA proved too much for me. Oh, he couldn't make it, so he's leaving a life that he's come to know. He said he's going back to find what's left of this world, the world he left behind not so long a one-way ticket back to the life he once knew. He said he would. Oh, he's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. Yeah. Said he's going back to find, ooh, a simpler place in time. Now I'm gonna be with him, yeah, on that midnight train to Georgia, yeah. Oh, I'd rather live in his word than live without him in mine. Oh, he's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia, yeah. Said he's going back to find, ooh, a simpler place in time. And I've got to be with him, yeah, on that midnight train to Georgia. I'd rather live in this world than live without him in mine. Ooh, for love, gonna fall. Midnight train to ride for love, gonna ball. Midnight train to go my world, his world, our world, mine and his alone, my world, his world, our world, mine and his alone. I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go, yeah. I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go, yeah. I've got to go, I've got to go, I've got to go, yeah. So remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast, felt like I was drunk, yeah. City light lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car, I wanna take it anyway. Maybe we can make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. Yeah. You got a fast car, I got a plan. Get us out of here, been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finding me what it means to be living. So remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast, felt like I was drunk, and city lights lay out before us, with your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder, and I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. Get a fast car, yeah. Wanna be someone, I wanna be your someone. All right.
Woo!
You guys are all hanging in there. We got one more for you. And I was trying to think of what to say, but I think I'm just going to talk about this song because I asked Jen if there was any song that she wanted us to do to be able to end the night. Or I said, is there a song you want us to do?
Song you want to hear?
And she said, I want you guys to do the blessing. And she said, because what I think about when I think about that song is really the people that we serve. And just calling that blessing over them, that the Lord would bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and bring you peace. And, you know, I would encourage you guys to go on Lighthouse for Life, do a little bit of research about what they do and in general trafficking, especially, you know, if you don't know a lot about it. And I know it's heavy, but I had a lady years ago that went on a trip with me, and she saw some really tough stuff, and she said, you know, once you know, you can't unknow. And I think that's timely for us for a variety of things, but even if this information is heavy, just know that this is happening, and just that we can, by giving a little bit to Lighthouse, by just becoming more informed and more aware, knowing about it could potentially change somebody's life, save someone's life, and we can all do something. So this is a blessing for you. This is a blessing for the Lighthouse team. But more than anything, this is a blessing for the young girl right now who might be in a situation where her innocence has been taken from her and she feels trapped and she doesn't know where to turn. And I just pray that God brings into her world, or his world, if it's a young man, people who could be that light to guide them out of that darkness. And we just want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, for helping us celebrate 6 years of Lighthouse, helping people get back on their feet, and young people, young lives, get back on their feet and bring them back to wholeness. And we hope we're celebrating 6 more, and many more than that, and many more lives brought back to wholeness.
Right now, but I know what it's going to sound like at the end, so let me get it out. Y'all, this is live right here.
This is live! Alright, we'll just start with the second verse. Now I gotta find it.
I'll get you there.
Okay.
Sorry, I just couldn't let it keep going because I was like,
oh, he's
was profound. Like, hey, I messed up.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, y'all.
All right, verse.
God bless
There you
you
go.
and keep you. Make His face shine upon you and be
So good.
Oh, guys, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We want to say especially a thank you to Lighthouse for asking us to be a part of their birthday.
Yeah, thank you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday and congratulations. And we will see y'all soon. Lighthouseforlife.org. Check them
This
out.
one. Thanks,
Bye,
y'all.
y'all. Have a great night.
That was a good note.